I want a real drum kit. For the longest time, I wanted a real drum kit. They sound real. I'm gonna be honest, I like how real drums sound. They provide an added level of authenticity to pretty much any song that you put them on. And okay, 808s and other synthetic drums have their place, but they don't sound real. There's just a couple of issues. Drums are big and loud, and they can take up a small room. And if someone didn't want to hear you, they'd have to be like, hundreds of feet away. That's a problem because I live in an apartment complex and there's like 100 people within a very small area here. There's a lot of cute dogs though. So acoustic drums out, right? Wrong. Well, sort of. I had to get an electric kit with pads. They are quiet and only audible when I'm stress drumming. I picked up one of these. Bet you've never seen a setup like this before. That's because it's totally unstable and unreliable. Don't make a setup like this unless you're gonna anchor it to the wall, which is something I really should get around to at some point. Anyway, out of the box, this thing sounds pretty awful. And the built-in practice songs that come stock with this thing are hilariously terrible. But do we care? Absolutely not, because even this budget low-end electric drum kit has one of these, a Midi to USB out, so we can plug it into our computer, boot up our favorite DAW or music software, and we're in. Backup. Let's start at the beginning with the kit. This is an Alesis Turbo that I picked up on Amazon and then rearranged the parts on a speaker stand so that it would take up less space. Total price, $300. And this is a real drum pedal with a Roland KD7 kick trigger attached to it. Total price, more than $300. But why wouldn't I just spend more money on a better kit instead? It's because the pedals that come stock with this thing are ass. They suck. They are not very responsive, even as you move up in price, whereas something like the KD7 can still be plugged in using the default cables that come with the Alesis Turbo, except now you're using a real pedal, and it behaves like a real kit, which is super responsive. And believe me, it eliminates the majority of the stresses associated with having a setup like this. Okay, so we got the kit. Now we need some realistic drum sounds. In my opinion, far and away, the best option is Toontrack's Superior Drummer 3. Why? Well, they've painstakingly recorded a bunch of different kits, so there's plenty of variety, and no other drum VST has the level of detail at different velocities that this has. Let me explain. When you hit a real drum of any kind, it will sound slightly different every time you hit it. And there are a few factors as to why this is true, but the main one has to do with how hard you hit the drum. If you hit it softly, it's going to sound soft. And if you hit it hard, it's going to sound hard, loud, and everything in between. Superior Drummer takes this into heavy consideration for their plugin by recording many layers of velocities for each part of the drum to capture the full range of dynamics from soft to loud. This is the key element that makes playing drums through a setup like this sound more like a real drum kit and give it that human element. Superior Drummer ain't cheap, but the drums that come with Logic, for example, have improved drastically over the years, and even a few from Ableton are able to achieve a similar effect. You can also pick up Toontrack's cheaper counterpart, Easy Drummer, or the lower priced line of VSTs from Addictive Drums, which are also quite good. Okay, so we've got the kit, which comes with the module that we've plugged into all of our pads and into our computer, and we've got the sounds. Just one problem. This is not set up like an actual kit yet because the MIDI mapping is all off. Thankfully, all of these drum VSTs come with a mapping mode, and the majority now have what's called a learn function. So all I have to do now is find the sound I want to map, hit learn, then hit the pad I want associated with that sound. Now, don't forget to save your mapping, because remapping this thing is kind of a bitch and not something you want to do every time you sit down to play. Now that everything is mapped, we have another problem, the hi-hat. Now, it is possible to map a closed hi-hat sound to one of these pedals, but again, on a budget setup like this, we don't like to use these pedals because they suck. So here's a workaround that I like to use. If you want to get more intricate with your hat work, you can map a tight or closed hat to one pad and an open hat to another. Thankfully, most drum VSTs are smart enough to know that when you hit a closed hat, it will cancel out the open hat sound, meaning you won't be able to have two separate hi-hat sounds playing simultaneously, which is perfect because it mimics the behavior of a real drum kit. And now I have a real sounding drum kit on a budget that's quiet with headphones on, responsive to the toe, and has a hi-hat with at least a little bit of versatility.